Imogen, thanks for stopping by. Head of Influence at Ogilvy. How did you get into that role?
I mean, I've been in the team now for 7 years, and I've been in the team from when we were 3 people, and now we're about 120. So I can't even remember how I got into it at this stage, but it looks very different from when I originally joined.
A little bit of inside information. One of your colleagues, Daniel, who had a panel earlier on, he said that you also used to be, or you still are, a creator at heart. Has that helped you to get into this position?
It has definitely helped me get into this position, although I would say that I was working in the industry before I became a creator. It was basically a strategy to test some of the things that we were working on at work. I wanted to see how it would work from a creative perspective. It's helped me hugely over the years, although I would say 2 children and a renovation project later, I have less and less time for it these days.
Oh, thanks for sharing that with us. It's so much easier to actually, do as you preach, right? So let's dive straight into, some of the practicalities that your agency does. So if you were advising a major brand today in terms of, some of the structural changes that need to be made, but also, what would you recommend for them to really unlock the next phase of growth in the creator economy for them?
You probably hear this a lot, but it's about understanding the integration or educating your teams on the integration of AI with the human thinking. So especially with an influence where it's such a rapidly growing environment and it's changing at a pace that I don't think any other industry sees. Getting your teams better educated on agentic workflows and enabling them to cut out a lot of the admin, because a lot of the work that you do with an influence is admin based. It's pulling data on lots of influencers over sustained periods of time. It's measurements. It's lots of stuff that can be pulled, and then you can add the human strategy over the top. So the more that we educate within AI and how it works on influence, the more that you're going to uplift and enable your teams to work on good creative.
That's really good to hear. So it does sound that it's very much operational efficiency. Have you seen some of that technology now start to be adopted by the creators themselves?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even just in the platform. So the fact that you can deep fake yourself, I suppose, and you can suddenly see yourself speaking Spanish on Instagram, for example. So you are suddenly able to speak to a much larger audience with your content, and they can create content a lot faster, or they can adapt their content so much faster so that we can use it within paid media and not just on their organic channels.
Has that sort of language overlay, have you seen any really good results for creators in terms of their scalability and building communities outside the core?
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, we tend to see that about 80% of the viewership that our influencers are getting is not inside the UK anyway. So actually, it's a little bit skewed if I was to look from a UK perspective because, and I hate to be the person who says lots of people speak English, but lots of people consume a lot of media in English online. However, we are seeing that we're able to approach far more specific and nuanced communities through language adaptation with our influencers. But I think it's something that will be tapped into more and more over the next few years by creators.
Yeah, that's really good to know because, we've also seen YouTube follow that suit. So the next one, what about the mistakes that brands keep on making when they think about scaling their creator marketing efforts?
I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see brands still make is assuming that a small creator doesn't need the same level of vetting as, say, a celebrity or a big macro hero talent. You need to assume, so social media is no longer social. For example, it's algorithmic, right? And so any influencer, any creator, any consumer could go viral overnight. So you need to assume that you need to deeply vet absolutely everybody you're working with. We can do that at scale. It's completely doable. What isn't acceptable is to work with someone who only has 1,000 followers and assume they don't need deep vetting, because overnight they could suddenly have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million views. And actually, if you haven't followed their internet history over the past couple of years, you may not know them as well as you think. They may not be as aligned to your brand as they actually are. And then suddenly you're in hot water, both you and the influencer.
Yeah, that's fascinating because I'm seeing more and more briefs from bigger brands that say, no, we just want nanos and micros. But of course, you need scalability for that. So I'm presuming that you have quite a lot of technology to help you vet not just one, but maybe 100 or even 500 creators that are going to be part of that campaign.
Completely. I mean, across our team, we work with thousands of influencers every month. It's a huge scaled operation that we do for a lot of our brands. And in order to do that, it is a heavily well-oiled operational machine. And we use a number of different data sets and platforms and tools to help us do that, depending on the client, right? Because for our B2B influence offering, we're not using the same tools as we are for a consumer platform like Creator IQ, for example, that would help us source influencers.
Awesome. Now, in your experience, what are the signals that brands need to see before really investing into creator economy, just like they would do with search or social, more of an always-on channel?
I don't think you need to be looking at the signals anymore. I think if you're not doing it, you failed. And specifically as an always-on channel, I think the important thing to remember is that in a couple of years' time, generative search is the majority of search that's going to be happening in an online space. And although influence is not a direct input to generative search, it is an indirect input because we know that third-party recommendations are important. Platforms like Reddit, for example, we know that we need trusted reviews online. Influencers are an incredible way to do that. So the best thing that brands can be doing with their always on when they're investing, because I'm not even going to broach the topic of them not investing, they are investing now and it's increasing. It's about ensuring that they have that always on to push the brand message, because in 2 or 3 years, when everyone is using generative search, it's that the tools are going to be looking for to understand what they should be recommending.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's super valuable. Now, in terms of preference and where the opportunity is right now, so if a brand came to you, but they had limited budget, what format would you have to choose? Would it be shorts, reels, or TikToks?
For this year, TikToks. Moving forwards in the next few years, I'm going to say shorts, but only because I want people using YouTube more and more to better get themselves ready for generative search.
Awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by, Imogen. Lovely to meet you.
Great speaking.